Welcome to the Mantra Pearl class dedicated to Shiva, the auspicious one. And he is also known as Nīlakaṇṭha. Nīlakaṇṭha. Nīlakaṇṭha is the one who has a blue neck. So now you maybe wonder, why is his name, or one of his many names, blue neck, the one with the blue neck? And there is a beautiful story that I love with all my heart, and it has helped me so much in my life, especially in the times when it's very, very difficult. Those difficult times, we call it the churning of the ocean. There's a beautiful story, and the story is called the churning of the ocean. And I want to share with you today the story of the churning of the ocean. Because when we are on this sacred journey of inquiry, gaining moksha, it's our churning of the ocean. There's a profound churning that takes place. And so, there was once upon a time the asuras and the devas. The devas are those who, the celestial being, those who are creating harmony and protecting dharma, universal values. And the asuras are those who create mischief and go against dharma. Yet both of them, or all of them, all they really wanted was the soma, the elixir of deathlessness, or also called the elixir of amritam, amrtatvam. And that elixir was lying at the bottom of the ocean, deep, deep down in the ocean. And they were trying to get that soma, that elixir, because the devas and the asuras wanted to conquer death. Like us, nobody wants to really die. And we spend so much money in aging creams, in fitness and health. Nobody really wants to die. So not even the celestial devas and the asuras, all they wanted is to be able to live forever. So that soma was there, lying at the bottom of the ocean. And they tried. They took a mountain, and they put the mountain there in the center of the ocean. They took Vasuki, the snake, and tied the snake around the mountain. And the mountain served like a drill, a tool, you know, that you can drill. And so they tied Vasuki around the mountain. And then on both ends, the asuras and the devas pulled, one at the tail and one at the hand, and they pulled and did like this, forward and backward, so that the mountain would drill into the ocean. And so slowly, as they started to move the mountain, like the churning of the ocean started to begin. You know, like when you have the ocean and it's very calm, and suddenly the wind comes and movement happens, and that is called the churning of the ocean. So they were churning the ocean, and what has happened is that at the bottom of the ocean there was all this gunk and this toxic waste lying down there. And so all of that was coming up to the surface, and it was poison. It was so poison. If that would have gotten out into the world, everybody would have died. It was so poisonous. So the asuras and the devas, they prayed to Shiva. They knew only Shiva can help now, because all this poison is out there. They don't know what to do, because if it goes back to the ocean, then it still lies down there, and they're not going to get the soma, the elixir of deathlessness. And if it goes out into the world, into the universe, everything is going to be destroyed. So they invoked, they prayed to Shiva, and they said, please Shiva, come and help us. We are one, the soma, but all this venomous, this toxic waste is there, this poison. Can you help us? He said, no problem. He went into the ocean, went to the bottom there and took all this poison with his hand, and he drank it all. He drank it all, and then it got stuck in his throat. And so all this poison, it got stuck there, and his throat became blue. He could deal with it because he has all power. He's indestructible. He could deal with all this poison. And he didn't spit it back. It just stayed there, and it turned into a blue neck. And so this is how Shiva got the name Nīlakaṇṭha. Nīla means blue, Kanṭha means neck. So what's the story behind it? What's the meaning of this beautiful story? And yes, I forgot to say, he swallowed all the poison, and of course the Asuras and the Devas, they finally got the Soma. So now many people believe that there is some real Soma there that you can find, and you're gonna drink that elixir and become immortal. There is no such thing. You cannot become immortal. How can you make something that is mortal turn into immortal? So if there is such a thing like immortality, it has to be an already accomplished fact. So if it is already accomplished, but you don't know about it, what's the solution? That we need to know about it. I, the individual, the jiva, I've taken myself to be a limited being in time and space. On all levels I'm limited. Bodily wise I'm limited. In my emotions I'm limited. In my knowledge there's limitation. There's space-wise limitation. I'm here, I can't be there. Object-wise limitation. But is the limitation really my limitation? Or does the limitation belong to this? And who am I in relationship to this? So Vedanta, the Vedic teachings, say that really, in essence, your true nature, your true being is limitless, is not bound by the limitation of this body-mind-sense complex. What? I am not limited? That means I'm not going to die? I am not this body? I'm not my mind? I'm not going to die? Veda says yes. I don't know how that is true. That's when the person, the seeker, turns into a student. He becomes a student of self-knowledge. He wants to know who she really is. What's the truth of my being? And so he undertakes, or she undertakes, a very committed, prayerful study program. It's a study time that one, with the help of a traditional teacher, undergoes, and that is called Jnana Yoga, the pursuit of knowledge, the dedication to knowledge. That has a threefold process. The first is called Shravanam. Shravanam is when we listen attentively, wholeheartedly to the traditional teaching of Vedanta and the Yoga Shastra. We listen and we gain knowledge. The second process is called Mananam. Mananam is when we remove doubts. As you expose yourself to this teaching, maybe lots of doubts can arise. Why couldn't it be like that? What about this? What about this? So the doubts have to be resolved. And how do you resolve doubts? By asking questions. So all your questions are welcomed. This is not a belief. This is not a blind faith. This is not a philosophy. This is not a dogma. This is truth, knowledge. And the definition of knowledge, according to Veda, is that which does not change, subject further inquiry. That which does not change, subject further inquiry. A belief is something that changes subject further inquiry. So what does not change subject further inquiry? Everything you inquire into changes. The more you know how much you don't know. Science, you see, there's so much science and something is proven, and the next day it's already somebody else disproves it. So what is that which does not change subject further inquiry? That which really is. That is you, Atma, the self. The self means you, means I. It's not a higher self, it's not a superior self, it's you. And so this has to be discovered. That I am really free from all limitations. Why does it have to be discovered? Because if you don't, you suffer. If I don't discover that I'm limitless, that I'm whole and complete, I suffer. That is called samsara. I'm struggling to become happy. I'm struggling to become secure. I'm struggling to get validated from everybody else, from people who don't validate themselves. I'm struggling to be loved, to be accepted, to be appreciated, struggling to be seen, to be recognized, to be somebody. It's very painful. Samsara, this disease of becoming bhavaroga, is very painful. Because it's really very unbecoming of us. I don't need to become. I am, here and now, whole and complete. Absolutely lovable, adorable, just the way I am. But I don't know. If you do, then you don't need this teaching. But most of us, I would say everybody, unless we have undergone these sacred disciplines and teaching, we struggle to become. And at the time of death, we are afraid. All the omissions and commissions arise, the regrets, the shoulds and shouldn't have, would have and wouldn't have, the guilt, the hurt, unresolved issues. So, a mumukshu does not live to die. A mumukshu dies in order to live. A mumukshu dies to his or her wrong notion. That's the yogi, that's Shiva. And so when we are on this journey of getting to know who we are churning our ocean. All the toxic waste starts to surface. The hate, the rage, the blame, the disappointment, the embarrassment, the betrayal, the guilt, shame. All of it gurgles up. And if I give this toxic waste to the people that are around me, they are called significant others, people who I care and whose opinion makes a difference in my life, and it goes to them, right? I destroy them. I destroy the relationships. I destroy my life. Because all this is poison, like in the story. If the poison goes out into the universe, it destroys the whole universe. And this is your life. Your life is your universe. If you give this toxic waste to your people around you, you're destroying your life. So we don't want to give this toxic waste to anybody. Right? Do I want anybody that they give their toxic waste to me? Their rage and their hate and their disappointment and embarrassment? No. But it's there. We can't just shove it back underneath there. It has to come out. It has to be processed. If I am in denial, it can create so much drama, disease. So the mumukshu, the seeker, moksha, liberation, the student, the sadhaka, he or she is ready to face all the poison that lies here on the bottom of the ocean, my unconscious. all my unresolved issues with my mother, with my father, with my aunts and aunties and uncles and sisters, sibling rivalry, and brothers and cousins and teachers and society. All those unresolved issues, they have to come up. They're all there in my unconscious. But we have to welcome it. It has nothing to do with who I am, nothing to do with who you are. The rage, the hate, the disappointment, the betrayal, the shame, anything has nothing to do with who you are in essence. Nothing. So I can welcome it. It has nothing to do with who I am. So I refuse to make a judgment upon myself, upon a seen, gone, incidental attribute. A seen, gone, incidental attribute means whatever you see, whatever you feel, is an incidental attribute, has nothing to do with who you are. It's seen, you see it, therefore it's gone. You see it, therefore it's gone. Seen, gone, seen, gone, seen, gone. Nothing to do with who you are. So when it comes, the rage, the hate, the hurt, the disappointment, and it comes, you welcome it. Welcome, 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 welcome. And instead of giving it to the people you love the most, so that we don't repeat and perpetuate the line of blaming, we cut the chain to the past, we'll give the people the love and care that we have for them, not our toxic waste. Because out of helplessness, I hurt the people that I love the most. Out of helplessness, I hurt the people that I love the most. Yeah? I don't want to do that anymore. That's where I go to Nīlakaṇṭha. Just like in the story, all the poison, it has to go somewhere. And so here we have this sacred, most profound mantra, Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ, that we're going to learn now. So that you, when you're angry and upset and hurt and frustrated and raging and blaming, you allow yourself to have all those feelings, but you give it to Nīlakaṇṭha, to Shiva. And he is like the space of awareness. That's why the sky is blue. Because Shiva is the space of awareness, which really is colorless, right? But it's blue, it's appearing blue. And so we say, this is Shiva's neck, the sky. He is a space warrior, and you never find him to fight. He's not going to give it back to us. And that's why he has here the hand of fearlessness. This hand is called Abhaya Hasta, the hand of fearlessness. He says, if I would be you, if I would have had your background, your story, your situation, your parents, I would feel exactly what you feel. All your feelings are complete, in total order, sthane, in place. They're in order. Feel them, release them, give them to me. That's why his other hand is down here by his knee. He says, give them to me. I take care of them. So you give all the hurts to Shiva, to Nīlakaṇṭha. All the anger, all the frustration, you feel them and you offer them to Nīlakaṇṭha with this mantra. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. So Om, invoking protection, Namaḥ, my salutation, my invocation of Nīlakaṇṭha, that invoking the space of awareness that can swallow all the poison that is gurgling up from my unconscious, from the bottom of the ocean, as I'm churning the ocean. The churning is the inquiry into the self. I'm doing inquiry, I'm gaining knowledge, I'm doing my mantra practice, my japa practice, my meditation. Naturally, all this gunk is going to come up. And I offer it to Nīlakaṇṭha. Nīlakaṇṭhāya means fourth case, unto Shiva, in the form of the one that has a blue neck or a blue form, and she doesn't spit it back. I offer it to Nīlakaṇṭha. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. So Nīla, E is a long E, a dirgha E. And then Kantha. Kantha is Murdhanya Tha and Na. So you roll the tongue back on Kanṭhāya, Kanṭhāya. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ. Om Nīlakaṇṭhāya namaḥ.